This is Geek Entertainment Television. I'm Violet Blue. We are at the Computer History Museum in Mountain View, California for the 25-year birthday of the C64. I am here with Jack Tramel's son, and your name is?
Leonard.
Leonard, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. So did you grow up with the C64 in the house?
Well, I'm not quite sure how old you are when you grow up.
Okay.
But the Commodore 64 was developed when I was in graduate school.
Okay, so you didn't really have one around the house as a kid?
Did not have one around the house as a kid.
Okay. Did you have one when it came out?
Shortly thereafter.
What did you have to sell to get one?
Nothing.
Were you given one or did you steal it?
I was given one.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah. My PhD thesis was written on a Commodore 64.
That's fantastic. Did you have any games that you like to play on it?
Yeah, and see if I can remember which ones. Yeah, Load Runner.
Load Runner?
Yeah.
How did you cheat?
Cheat? I would never do that.
Of course you wouldn't. So let me ask you this. When I was growing up, my mom dated a lot of guys that had C64s, so C64s were basically my babysitter. Did your C64 get you a lot of dates?
No.
Oh. Okay. And now I have to ask you for the prompt again because I cannot remember.
No problem.
Okay. Okay. So I have a very special question to ask you, yes. And that is, what is SYS 64738?
SYS 64738. Oh, that sounds familiar. I can't place it.
Okay.
What am I forgetting?
It's a command that did something very common. Something it was used. I don't know if it's used in any practical purposes, but reboot the machine. Okay.
So it's a completely impractical question about rebooting the machine, basically.
Okay. Sorry.
That's okay. Is there anything else you wanted me to ask, Eddie?
Yeah, maybe.
I know.
Okay.
Is there anything you can tell me about the development between the 20 and the 64? Or do you have any thoughts about that?
The same design team that made the VIC-20 wanted to do better and knew that the biggest limitation of the VIC-20 was the 20 columns. So they made a higher resolution version of the chip. The VIC was what we called both the computer and the processor chip, the video processor chip, and the video chip in the Commodore 64 was called the VIC-2.
Oh. Okay.
But the marketing folk didn't like VIC-2.
Okay.
So we called it the Commodore 64.
You had to bend to their whims, basically.
Yeah, they were right, too.
Oh.
VIC-2 just doesn't sound good. It's also not a polite phrase in German.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, we'll have to subtitle that one. I guess my last question for you is, why do you think the C64 has such a cult following?
Because an awful lot of people bought them. I've been amazed talking to people in the computer industry how many of them the Commodore 64 was their first computer and got them interested.
So it's very formative.
Yeah.
So how did you come to have such an awesome sound processor for the 64?
By having an absolutely awesome chip designer.
Really?
Yeah. Guy was great, made a fantastic chip, produced all sorts of really fantastically flexible sound generation. It took decades before there was another machine that could do what a SID chip could do.
That's fantastic. So there was no rival for a long time?
Not for a long time.
And that's why the songs are so popular?
Well, that's why the song sounded good enough to be popular.
Okay.